Oh, good evening, my friends. This is Sandy Shellis from Environmental Coffee House, and I'm here tonight to talk about a few things and about a trip I am embarking on that I'm hoping is going to be something that will bring me some tools, give me tools in order to help everyone that's going through all of this tough time. This is the most difficult time probably in forever, in my life that I can think of. So I want to tell you about this, and I do also want to explain a bit about this past week. I have been very sick. Like this week, I had every kind of pain you can imagine. I suffer from fibromyalgia and something else called Sjogren's, and I've had 3 back surgeries, and my neck is herniated, blah, 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 blah. It ruined my life. I just really am coming out of pretty much a 5-day thing, and it scared me because I committed to going to Boulder, Colorado to take this workshop. And it is called Resilience Bridge. I first learned about Carolyn Baker, who is one of the presenters, on Hambone's interview with her. And I had known before a little bit about her work. And I'm going to talk to you about this workshop that I'm hoping will give me some peace in my life with all of this stuff that's going on. And I just want to say hi to everybody. Thank you for joining me. I'm looking forward to this, and I'm not going to let anything get me down about it. I'm not going to find any negatives. I'm not. I'm going to tell you what it is. Okay. It is called Resilience Bridge, and it's a course. It's a workshop with Carolyn Baker, who is a psychologist. And her mission is to create islands of sanity in a sea of global chaos. We all know what we're going through. We've just suffered hurricanes. We've just suffered horribly awful fires in California and Santa Rosa that took 2,000 homes and how many lives? 10 lives, and has just decimated people's lives. We had a shooting in Las Vegas that took 58 lives. I mean, and not only that, we're going through anthropogenic climate change. So Carolyn Baker is somebody who has been in this movement for a while. The movement of almost the near-term human extinction movement, as close as I can say it. And she does webinars and podcasts and workshops, and she's written books and articles, and she does coaching, as has Dean Spillane Walker, who wrote The Impossible Conversation, which is the book that I had talked about before, and he is also hosting this. My whole aim on this is to help you, is to help everybody that comes to Environmental Coffee House cope in some way on this journey along with me. It's a journey that I wish we weren't taking. I wish that it wasn't the tipping point. I wish we woke up in the 70s. I wish that things were different, but they're not. And I'm not going to scare you. I'm going to tell you about this. So Michael Rupert was somebody that Carolyn worked with, and he was a man that actually talked about peak oil. He talked about basically that we were going to hit the tipping point. And unfortunately, Michael took his own life. I'm not going to go into Michael, and I'm not going to go into a lot of it that way tonight. I put up information on Michael Rupert, and she took over his show, and she says in her bio, it says that one of the key tools we need for navigating the global crisis is solid information. So she's published a comprehensive daily news digest 7 days a week, unless she's traveling. So she's actually really done a lot. Something like A Guide to Gracefully Losing Faith in a Collapsing Dominant Culture, which is something she published by Jim Tall. She's put a lot of effort into trying to help people deal with what's happening. So what is happening? What is the Anthropocene? What is near-term human extinction? What is the sixth mass extinction? I put up something by Paul Ehrlich the other day, and he's talking about species extinction. At the rate that we're going to kill off every animal besides the human animal, and I'm not sure that we're not going to kill off ourselves. And again, I'm not meaning to scare you. You know what I read. You know that I believe that climate change is a man-made thing, that the fossil fuel industry is responsible, and that capitalism and marketing and consumerism and an all-encompassing need and greed has gotten us to where we are. And it isn't stopping, is it? No. We have a current political system that wants to keep it going. We have Scott Pruitt, the head of the EPA, who's going to Oklahoma to shut offices down. Oklahoma, that has fracking earthquakes. We have problems, guys. And by doing this workshop, I really, really, really hope that I am able to bring back the ability to share and help more people with this venue that I have. That's what I want to do. You know how I feel. You know that I am the person that is, I follow science. I follow science. And these hurricanes that have exacerbated have a direct correlation to the warming oceans, to picking up the moisture from the warming oceans, to the CO2 that's created a greenhouse effect on our planet. And in California, most recently, yesterday, the night before, California got the rains that grew back the beautiful flora, but it dried out. And what happened when it dried out was it was much easier then to create a fire. And the fires were happening in British Columbia this year also. California was a killer. California is something that's going to be replicated, that we need to understand and need to have the tools to live with and need to pass these down to our children if there's time. So when I looked at this and I read the book and I thought, let's give it a shot. Let me give it a shot. I have not been to a workshop since I had to retire medically. And as I don't know how long I have on this planet, I took money out of my retirement account so that I could travel and so that I could, use this means of communication that I have now, which is a new computer, because that other laptop I had, as you well know, I couldn't get any audio when I was doing interviews, and I love interviewing. And Heidi, she's saying, prayers for all in the wake of all natural man-made disasters. Yes. And I read the poem the other night, Walk the Red Road, and I firmly believe we all have to walk that red road in this culture of anthropogenic change. And before I get into that, let me give you a little bit of background on that. And you should know ad nauseum, because I publish articles. We publish articles day in and day out on this. I mean, day in and day out. The Anthropocene defines Earth's most recent geological time period as being human influenced or anthropogenic, based on overwhelming global evidence that atmospheric, geologic, hydrologic, biospheric, and other Earth systems processes are now altered by humans. They are. The word combines the root anthropo, meaning human, with the root scene, the standard suffix for epoch in geological time. The Anthropocene is distinguished as a new period either after or within the Holocene, the current epoch, which began approximately 10,000 years ago, about 8,000 BC, with the end of the last glacial period. And from everything we've read, that I've read, we have been ushered into a mass extinction period. And I found somebody else online, Dana, Beautiful Girl by Dana on YouTube, who talks about, good night, Denny, who talks about the nuclear disasters. He talks about nuclear energy. I found him, I'm posting him, I love his show. The show is called Beautiful Girl by Dana because of the fact that he had an accident and the nurses that got him back together. That's a tribute to the nurses. I found that out today. So I've been publishing his material because I am vehemently against nuclear power. I am of the belief that with the awful, horrible things that are going on in the planet, that there could be a shot for people to actually survive some of these horrible things. But with nuclear meltdowns, that may not happen. Dana today, he's going on a 6-month expedition on the coast of British Columbia, and he is going to catalog the extinction of species from Fukushima. And he has been collecting, creating, and developing what he's going to do. So that's another person that's working on this. And I talk about abrupt climate change because I'm seeing it everywhere. I'm seeing it by the melting of the Arctic, which is creating a jet stream that is just unbelievable, causing these storms. They're going to get worse. They're not going to get better. And abrupt climate change has likely been the cause of wide-ranging and severe effects. Okay, so I call abrupt climate change the things that are going on now, the things that are happening, the hurricane season that is going to just get worse, the hurricane season that maybe once every 100 years we had this type of storm. It's not going to be like that, folks. So we need to be able to have the tools to deal with what we're going to have to deal with. And Jean says it's everywhere. You can't miss it unless you're in a coma. And I'm not missing it. And I am not an alarmist, and I'm not trying to scare anybody. This is what's happening. The storms. I lived through a tornado in my own house. And Rob, yes, Rob. Rob is asking me if I'm familiar with the concept of MMT, how the new grid. Listen, Rob, I started with real progressives. I know MMT. Okay. So there's nothing you can't tell me about that. And I know that MMT can solve some societal issues. MMT and the Green New Deal are not going to stop the tipping point. Maybe we could get more time. Maybe our children can have quality lives and our grandchildren can have quality lives. But we have to work to elect people that will help us go on. And hello, Steve Wolfbrand. Welcome. So we have to, elect people to go on, right? In 2018. If we have any shot of lengthening the time we have on Earth. There are a lot of people that say we don't. I've interviewed Guy McPherson. Guy McPherson says we're done. I respect Guy's work. I respect Paul Beckwith's work. He gives us our videos and teaches us what is happening. And he shows us where we can get information. He's wonderful. So Abrupt Climate, they're due to sudden circulation shifts, analogous to a flood cutting a new river channel. And I'm not going to go into all of it. I'm just, I'm going to say that there are a lot of things that are bringing it on. And abrupt climate change occurs when the climate system is forced to transition to a new climate state at a rate that is determined by the climate system energy balance, and which is more rapid than the rate change of the external forcing. I'm not going to go and explain all the scientific stuff tonight. I'm learning. I'm just learning. There's two different definitions. In the term of physics, it's a transition of the climate system into a different mode on a time scale that is faster than the responsible forcing. And in term of impacts, an abrupt change is one that takes place so rapidly and unexpectedly that human or natural systems have difficulty adapting to it. And that is what we are in now. That's where we are. And if you don't see it, or if you want to find something else to describe where we are, go for it. But reality tells me, and science tells me, that we are over the tipping point. There's nothing I want to do more is help me. I mean, help myself, but help my people, help all of you, help people that I've grown to love over this time that I created this. So that is why I'm going to this workshop. Then let's go into the workshop a little. Resilience is the life-giving ability to shift from a reaction of denial or despair to learning, growing, and thriving in the midst of challenge. We are living in a time like no other in human history. And she says, we are living in this is Carolyn Baker. We are living in a post-truth world in which telling the truth is an unsafe act. Everybody lies. I don't lie. You don't lie. The politicians lie. Our individual and collective shadows are wreaking havoc in our lives and running our world. I am not sure exactly what I'm going to learn. I read the book. I'm not sure about the whole shadow thing. We'll find out. We'll find out. Oh, what does Marcia say? Oceanographer Sylvia Earle's documentary Mission Blue shows the science behind her convictions Our oceans are dying. See it on Netflix. I will. So Carolyn goes on to say the cornerstones of our earth and our human systems are collapsing. Can we disagree on that? I can't see how we can. How we've gotten here is through disconnection from our sacred self, from each other, and from Earth. The painful disconnection causes us to feel lost, confused, and alone. All economic and environmental and cultural indicators boldly point to our current predicament as the end of business as usual paradigm. And my God, really, that is how I feel. I see it coming. While this may well be true, those in power appear committed to maintaining our familiar, yet destructive, business as usual ways until the last tipping point has been passed. Have we passed the last tipping point? Maybe those fires were the last tipping point. Maybe what Marcia just said about the oceans dying, the last tipping point. Do you know that every day, 87,000 flights take off over the world? Do you know how much carbon those planes burn that's releasing into the atmosphere? Do you know? I did some studies. I did the research, and I'm not ready for that live stream yet. But before I go on, I will tell you, if I can find my little thing. The carbon dioxide and water vapor, and what is left out, and if I can find it, I want to tell you so much. From 1 air mile, on an average, one plane produces a little over 53 pounds of carbon dioxide per mile. Now, this is airlines, cargo planes, private planes. We are so fucked, as Hambone says. Air traffic has like doubled, tripled, I don't know, in my life, okay? So that carbon dioxide is going somewhere, isn't it? That's part of what's causing abrupt climate change. That is part of what's bringing us down. And I'm flying because I have no choice. It's either I fly or I drive, and I'm really disabled, so I can't drive to Colorado. So what do? Go borrow my Amish neighbor's horse and buggy and take 3 months to get there? I'm just as much of a victim, and I'm just as much the cause of what we are going through because I bought into it like we all did. And you know how I talk about it as the HGTV nation? So the denial in our leaders, ourselves, runs deep and is running scared. It seems that our current government, media, and popular culture have woven a seamless web of control over our public discourse. The web threatens any thoughtful consideration of alternative ways of living within this human operating system. Threats of suppression, marginalization, and shame. These troubling times are calling us like never before. They are calling for us to reconnect with our inner wisdom, other people, and with the earth herself. And I connect with you through the internet. But I want to connect so much in the flesh, and I connected. Mindy came here. Mindy, who does our graphics, she came here, and she was with us with my family for 8 days, and it was wonderful. Connecting. My house is open. You know, Steve, you say, I think there is hope if we get our shit together fast. Technology may save us. Technology that has brought us down to our knees. You need oil to make solar panels. You need oil to make windmills. You need fossil fuels to do everything. Unless we say, okay, we're done, and we are living like the Amish, and they use kerosene. How is this going to change? How are we going to change? No, we're not going to change. We have a disgusting, despicable administration and a disgusting, despicable president. We have neoliberalism all over the globe. So what we're going to do is learn how to be resilient. We're going to live like this. We're going to learn to go as far as we have, as far as that road will take us. And we're going to be happy every day. And you know, I felt like shit all week, but I was happy every day. Because I work at making myself happy no matter how shitty I feel, no matter how fucked up everything is, and no matter how the tipping points have happened, I am happy every day because I have you guys, I have my husband who lives, I have a daughter, I have family, I have people around my community. I'm working for a candidate for 2018 to get rid of Tom Reed. His name is Ian Golden. I'm going to do those things in my community. You work in your community. You can trickle up. I always say it. Trickle up. So the steps to healing ourselves, according to Carolyn, others, and the earth, and Dean, I can't let him, be out of it. Paying attention, being willing to attend to the sober data. Now that's what we are. That's the reality of where we are. Of our global and local situation and the costs of our disconnection, being willing to see our world through the lens of interrelatedness with life versus constant consumption. But we have to stand back and not deny it. We have to hit this and we have to face it head on. We have done this. Presence. When we reconnect with the fullness of our being, we relate with the world around us with a vibrant, heartful presence that far surpasses our compressed personalities in business as usual mode. Practices. The end of business as usual demands that we consciously shift our attention and intent towards our reconnection with the web of life, the beautiful web of life. You live in a city, go outside, walk the grass, sit on the grass, put your feet with nothing on. Touch the earth. We will only reconnect with these profound sources of life and meaning by intentionally breaking our own hearts open and allowing ourselves to remember our most primal essence, that we are intimately woven into the web of life. By breaking open our hearts to this truth, we reunite with the love, core joy, and grace that are indeed at the center of life itself. I haven't lost the love for life or the love for my fellow man. I love animals. I love animals because animals don't do anything viciously. They may seem vicious, but they're not human vicious. We're going to do everything we can to destroy ourselves. That is what human beings have done, and that is what human beings have been. That is why human beings, and today, being Columbus, no, that was yesterday. Wait a minute, what day is it? Yesterday, being Columbus Day is exactly that. Shows us that human beings viciously came and started and took the land from the indigenous people, starting with Christopher Columbus. So part of the calling of our times is to find kindred spirits with whom a safe conversation can be had. I feel that you guys that follow me are my safe conversation. You are my kindred spirits. Now, as never before, we truly need one another. We need strong communities. Ironically, that is the need, as we are deeply polarized and isolated from each other in political echo chambers. And I'm guilty, and I say it. I've never felt this kind of hate before. I have it, and I don't like it in myself. But I see it, and I want to rid myself of it. And I'm hoping that going to this will help me to come back a better person and help you through what I've experienced. So, promises of the work in this is a safe container in which to explore these topics. Our denial-filled world of business as usual demands that we never question the status quo and never dare to feel or share our grief, rage, or even our love for our miraculous home. In Resilience Bridge, we invite full expression of your truth and my truth. And my truth is your truth. A clear understanding of how we are arrived at our current predicament. We talk about this all the time. How did we get here? How did we get here? We all know. We got here because of our capitalist ways. We got here because of greed. We got here because from the very beginning, human beings were hitting each other over the head because that one wanted that goddamn coconut. In the animal kingdom, they only kill for survival. Human beings kill to kill. We saw that. I don't know the facts of Las Vegas, but we saw killing for the sake of killing. For whatever reason or whatever theory. So this course will offer tools and practices to reconnect us with our inner wisdom, other people in the earth, and I'm going to bring it back. Our business as usual culture has demanded that we disconnect from vital sources of meaning in our lives. And by disconnecting, we have forfeited our agency and ability to find our true purpose in living. So this Resilience Bridge is an opportunity to reclaim our agency and rediscover our core sense of purpose through our sincere intent to reconnect with life. And you know what? I'm hoping maybe that some of the pain I experience on a daily basis, maybe I can help myself get rid of it. Maybe the pain is not just physiological in my body. I mean, I know what's wrong with me, but maybe some of that pain is because of what I'm living through and what we're living through. Why do you think we have an opiate problem? Why are so many people having back injuries? Why are so many people in pain? Why is the United States handing out antidepressants like they're candy? Why? So those of us who are awake enough to know that Earth and human systems are deeply threatened, know that to be effective now is to have a foot firmly planted in each of two worlds. And it is true, two different worlds. Of course, we must stay as present, grounded, and clear as possible in this fast-paced, collapsing world. We are all tasked with somehow keeping our lives moving forward against the many odds of our paradigm. And we have the unique challenge of having a foot in a second world, a world that does not yet exist, a world we must co-create. We must cross this bridge between the two worlds as we build it, and we cannot build this bridge alone. We must find the kindred spirits and engage in bridge building fueled by resilient practices for reconnection with a meaningful life. Doesn't that make sense? Doesn't everyone want to live knowing that you're all a part of the healing, a part of making our future, and our future for those of you who have grandchildren, and giving them the tools of resilience for as long as we have? I think we do. And Heidi says, I have to calm down. And we are finding our inner peace. She so feels my pain There is so much divisiveness. I also pray for those who hate, to find a way to heal from their grievances. I feel that I need to focus on my own peace, as I do believe that inner peace is the way toward world peace. And that's beautiful, Heidi. I pray that we all can come together in unity for community so that we can have peace on earth. Beautiful. Beautiful. Heidi, you're beautiful. I'm not upset. When I express things in this heightened intensity, it's because I am passionate about what I'm talking about. And this passion translates to you guys. But don't be upset when I get upset, because I'm not upset. So for tonight, I want you to think about me and what I'm going to bring back to share, because I'm excited. And it's going to be helpful to everyone. I believe it will be. I want to glean just enough that I can put it together with my own life experiences, which are many, so that we can get through this journey together as long as I'm here, as long as I can do this. Because I will tell you, sometimes, see how I move around? It hurts. But sometimes it's getting to me. I have help on the page, but not that much. Judy's wonderful. I lost Kat. I don't know what happened to her. But to keep this going, it's a tremendous amount of reading and scheduling, but I don't want to give it up. I would like some help. I would like maybe somebody to want to help me schedule, volunteer, share, whatever. Be nice. But I would never put anybody in a place where I would say, you have to, you have to, you have to. I don't ask for money. This is my passion. I care about everybody that follows the page. I care about everybody that's going to watch this to some degree. Even those who I have disagreements with. And I had one last night. Because when I had a conversation, I entered a conversation that there were about the fires. And I said, thank the fossil fuel industry because they've gotten us to where we are. The person jumped down my throat and really was rude and pretty much told me to screw off because they were completely convinced that the hurricanes were done by man. They were cloud seeded and they were brought on by geoengineering, whatever. And I don't talk about it. I don't know enough about it. And again, there was no reason to jump on me, but this person did. So it was almost like I was talking to somebody who is a climate denier. And we have to stop this. We're on the same page. We're on the same side. We're on the same side. I just happen to think a little differently. I happen to believe in the science behind what's gotten us where we are. And I feel that even though Steve says technology might get us out, okay, I think it will in the short term, and I want to put solar panels on my house. I want to get off the grid. But I don't know if I have hope for the long term, but I won't be here. But I'm not selfish enough like those people that say, so what? And I met a woman like that. I met a woman like that in this little store, little antique store, who said, so what? I'll be dead. But what about your children and your grandchildren? What about them? So let's not forget. We're doing this not just for us. We're doing this for the future generations that might have time on the planet. I talked to another scientist who tells me, no, we have none, that there won't even be a 2020 election, that we are in a terminus event. I talk to people all day, every day, fascinating, amazing people. And now I have interview capabilities and we're going to bring them on. Steve says, I shared this to a bunch of groups that I never asked to join. They're all progressive. Oh, they're just going to love me. Trevor? Oh, I didn't get that one. I don't know. Let's see. Bart? Yes, yes, I suddenly knew I am watching her. Oops. I don't know if you're talking about me, but whatever. We go on. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to learn. I'm going to use it as a learning opportunity. Again, I'm telling you. And I'm doing it with the spirit of love. And I'm walking the red road. This is my red road. And I thank you all for coming and understand my passion. Actually, my passion does not bring pain. It's all of the other things that I probably take in. And I like to think that I'm that person that has disassociated myself from all of that I read so that I can have a decent day, so that I can be happy every day and love my husband and love my daughter and love all of you. And Judy says, we are more accepting of what is happening. We are. Judy, I love you because Judy is on my team and helps. Judy is somebody that is amazing. And Mindy shared. And Mindy, I thank you. Mindy did the newest graphic. If you guys saw that beautiful graphic with the coffee cup and the butterfly, and that we bring you what we bring you every day. And I don't want to stop. So we'll see. Oh my gosh, Jean. If I could kiss you through the computer, I would. I absolutely would. I think I've assembled a group of the most spiritual people and caring people and people whose eyes are wide open, and not hiding or finding a reason to say that it wasn't our fault, that it's their fault. It's the government's fault. It's all of our fault because we were inundated in this lifestyle. Did we have a choice? I don't think I did, but guess what? I knew what was going on. I knew in the 70s. I knew in the 80s. I was an activist, but it didn't stop me from becoming a consumer and an addicted consumer with credit card debt, the whole thing, a bankruptcy, a loss of a house, a divorce, the American dream, pretty much. So I'm going to leave you with this tonight. Peace, love, which I have here for everyone that's joined us. And I will be back from Boulder, Colorado. And we'll see what they let me live stream. And we'll see what I can do. Maybe at night I'll come on in the hotel room like I did when I was in the hospital with my husband. So I'm going to end with your beautiful sentiment, Heidi. Love to everyone. Heidi, you're a beautiful soul. You're a butterfly. Jean says it's our fault. I'm correct. Yeah. Even though it's our fault, they didn't give us much of a chance to buy stuff that was renewable. Thank you, Trevor. Trevor, I posted your newsletter today. And I bought the life straws. All of you, buy life straws for any emergency. Check out Trevor Andrew. You'll find the way. You'll always have clean water. So I had to leave at that note. Mindy, thank you for saying that because, Mindy, I love you so much. And we had the best time. Even though she twisted her ankle and almost fell down by millions of steps. Good night, guys. Peace. Thank you for coming. Share if you can. I'm still in Facebook jail, and I'm not going to deal with the censorship issue tonight. No censorship issue tonight. Peace, guys. Love you. Good night. I'm going to go be with my husband because he's here. He's alive, and he's getting better. Thanks to all of you. Thank you. Good night.